The Dallas Cowboys are making noise this offseason, and if you haven't been paying attention, you're already behind. Forget everything you thought you knew about where this team stood coming out of last season, because as of today, the Cowboys look like a completely reloaded machine. Between major moves in free agency, an aggressive draft strategy, a new head coach energizing the locker room, and some shocking standouts at minicamp and OTAs, the 2025 Dallas Cowboys might be one of the most unpredictable storylines heading into the NFL season. And no, this isn't another stale recap video. This is an urgent update. Let's get into it. But before we fully get into it, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out and ensures you don't miss any of my OTA and training camp updates across the league. First, let's talk about what's been happening on the field right now during OTAs and minicamp. While the media was laser focused on CeeDee Lamb's contract talks and Micah Parsons' potential mega extension, something else was quietly unfolding. The first glimpses of what this new rookie class could become. Tyler Booker, the offensive lineman out of Alabama, is already earning praise from coaches for his intensity and physicality in drills. But what makes this even more compelling is his existing rivalry with Eagles defensive lineman Jalen Carter, which dates back to SEC clashes. Booker's attitude and edge are already fueling some internal fire, and his development will be a storyline to watch, especially in NFC East matchups. The Cowboys also hit big on the defensive side of the draft. Donovan Ezeiruaku has been disruptive from day one, showing flashes of elite pass rushing potential. He's winning reps in one-on-ones, showing great hands and explosiveness, and looks like a rotational edge rusher who could make an immediate impact. Alongside him, Shavon Revel Jr. is making waves in the secondary. The cornerback from East Carolina has impressed with his physical coverage and instincts, breaking up multiple passes during team drills and establishing himself as a serious competitor for a role in sub-packages. Ezeiruaku's presence is especially important given the Cowboys' need to maintain pressure up front with DeMarcus Lawrence no longer in the mix. Several analysts expected a slight drop-off from the defensive line this year, but the emergence of Ezeiruaku and the solid spring performance of Sam Williams has eased those concerns. Williams, now entering his third year, looks more comfortable and confident, providing another rotational weapon in a deepening pass rush unit. And all of this is happening while George Pickens continues to make headlines. The Cowboys traded for the former Steelers wideout earlier this offseason in a move that stunned the league. Pickens has brought a different energy to this receiving core. Known for his physicality and deep threat ability, Pickens is already showing signs that he could be the perfect complement to Lamb. Reports at a camp indicate that Pickens has been nearly uncoverable in red zone drills, using his size and body control to make contested catches look routine. It's becoming clear that Pickens might not just be a wide receiver 2 in Dallas. He could be the spark this passing game has been missing. Then there's the elephant in the room, Micah Parsons. Everyone wants to know what's going on with his contract. He wants to be paid like the top defensive player in football, maybe even more, and frankly, he deserves it. What's more important right now, though, is that Parsons isn't letting the money talks distract from his work on the field. Parsons has shown up to OTAs in shape, hungry, and vocal. Coaches have raved about his leadership and the way he's mentoring younger players, especially second-year linebacker DeMarvion Overshown, who is expected to take a much larger role this season. Parsons isn't holding out. He's showing up, and that should scare the rest of the NFC. One underreported wrinkle in Parsons' offseason work has been his expanded role in defensive alignment. According to team insiders, he's been taking more off-ball linebacker reps in addition to his usual edge duties. This positional flexibility gives defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus even more leverage in disguising looks and rotating coverages. Expect more complex fronts and pre-snap movement designed to free up Micah to wreak havoc from multiple spots. Speaking of leadership, the new coaching staff led by Schottenheimer is already making waves. When Schottenheimer was promoted to head coach, the move wasn't flashy. It didn't grab national headlines, but internally, it's being seen as a stabilizing force. Players have praised the new culture, citing a more collaborative atmosphere and clear communication across all position groups. Schottenheimer has emphasized tempo, efficiency, and situational awareness during practices. And according to beat writers on the ground, the energy feels completely different from last year. This isn't a team mired with uncertainty. It's a group with a plan, and players are buying in. Defensively, the Cowboys made one of their biggest commitments by locking up defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa to a 4-year, $80 million deal with $58 million guaranteed. It's a bold move, but one that signals just how serious Dallas is about dominating the line of scrimmage. Odighizuwa has looked sharp during team drills and one-on-ones, often getting the better of the Cowboys' young interior linemen. Pairing him with rising players like Mozzie Smith and veteran additions like Dante Fowler Jr. gives the Cowboys a defensive front that could quietly become elite. Let's also talk about the offensive line, because that's where a lot of fans had concerns entering this offseason. After losing some key veterans, there were serious questions about how Dallas would rebuild in the trenches. But early indications are surprisingly optimistic. Tyler Guyton, entering his second year out of Oklahoma, is reportedly ahead of schedule in his development and has dominated first-team reps at right tackle. Meanwhile, TJ Bass, now with 3 years under his belt, is turning into a reliable option on the interior. There's still work to be done, and injuries could test depth, but the unit isn't the liability some feared it might be. And while most people have been focused on the big names, there's a groundswell of praise building for linebacker Jack Sanborn, who the Cowboys brought in during free agency. Sanborn has been a tackling machine during team periods, and has drawn comparisons to the late career Sean Lee for his instincts and sideline-to-sideline hustle. With Leighton Vander Esch retiring earlier this offseason due to neck concerns, Sanborn's arrival couldn't have come at a better time. He's competing for a starting role and might be one of the more underrated additions in the NFC. Another name you need to know is Elijah Clark. A UDFA out of Rutgers, Clark has been getting increased reps at safety and has shown range and ball skills that few expected. With injuries opening up competition in the secondary, Clark could be a dark horse candidate to make the 53-man roster and contribute on special teams. Let's take a quick step back and remember what this offseason was supposed to be. A rebuilding year, a transitional period, a reset. That's not what's happening. The Cowboys have doubled down. They've reinforced the defensive core, invested in young talent, and added explosive weapons like George Pickens to supercharge the offense. And now, with rookies like Booker, Ezeiruaku, and Revel already making noise, this draft class might end up being a cornerstone of the franchise. Still, it's not all smooth sailing. There is a very real possibility that this thing could implode. Schottenheimer's promotion, while bringing a more methodical vibe to camp, still raises eyebrows around the league. He's yet to prove himself as a successful head coach at the NFL level, and if things start to get rocky, the pressure could mount fast. George Pickens, despite his immense upside, comes with known attitude concerns. He clashed with Steelers coaches in Pittsburgh, and has already drawn attention in Dallas for animated outbursts during drills. If things don't go his way early, will he be a locker room asset or a distraction? Then there's Dak Prescott. His contract situation is hovering over this team like a thundercloud. With no extension yet agreed upon, and the front office publicly non-committal, you have to wonder if 2025 could be his final season in a Cowboys uniform. Combine that with the ongoing contract questions surrounding CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, and you get a lot of potential volatility bubbling under the surface. One wrong turn, one bad start, and the house of cards could start to shake. This isn't about hype, it's about momentum. Everything we're seeing out of the star in Frisco points to a team that's hungry and prepared. And while we haven't even hit training camp yet, the signs are clear. The Cowboys aren't settling, they're reloading. And if you're a fan, this is where you come in. Drop a comment below right now and let me know who you think is going to be the breakout star this season. Is it Pickens, Booker, someone on defense? And hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we're dropping updates like this all offseason long. With the freshest intel and analysis you won't get on the big networks. There's a storm brewing in Dallas, and it doesn't care about power rankings or hot takes. It cares about football, real football. The kind that starts in June, builds in August, and hits like a freight train in September. Stick around. This Cowboys season might just be different, and you're going to want a front row seat when it all goes down.